It's 6 p.m. Hello, good evening. Welcome to News 99. Pressure mounts on government to urgently recall Parliament to review and possibly scrap key taxes on petroleum products as fuel prices continue to surge past 18 Ghana cedis per litre at the pumps.
That Ghana was about the 10th most cheapest, but right now we are 30th out of 52 countries. So immediately the doomsday levy has to go. Immediately I also make a recommendation for the price stabilization and recovery levy. Now what?
We have details of the demands by the minority in Parliament, plus the latest upward transport fare adjustment threat by the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. Also coming up, the Chamber of Agribusiness demands immediate government intervention to reduce losses as it raises concern over the alleged detention of several Ghana-bound onion trucks in Nigeria.
Minister for Foreign Affairs and the Minister for Trade will have to step in now to make sure that some of these things are affected.
Also coming up, relief inside for commuters in parts of the Volta region as work progresses on Todeme Germany Road project.
First, the road is no good at all. So if we take our goods like cassava, maize, pepper, when the driver takes us to Germany, they take a lot of money.
We have details as the long-awaited road upgrade begins to transform travel for residents and motorists in the South Dai district. In business,
coming up in business, Fish Solutions hope for current account stability in Ghana will ease pressure on the city to end the year at 11 cedis 40 pesos to $1.
And a bit later, massive crowds, big stars and bold fashion mark grand finale of Gomoa Easter Carnival. The latest of these and many other stories are coming up in the next 30 minutes. This is Joy News. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. My name is Kenneth Gyasi. Details now. And tonight, pressure is mounting on government to urgently recall Parliament to review and possibly scrap key taxes on petroleum products as fuel prices continue to climb. The surge comes amid rising international oil prices, exchange rate pressures, and domestic levies, with some oil marketing companies now pricing above 18 cedis per litre at the pumps. Former Transport Minister and Member of Parliament for Gushegu on the ticket of the MPP, Alhassan Tampuli, speaking on the Super Morning Show, said he is demanding the recall of Parliament, citing the discrepancies in fuel pricing and a response from government on solutions to the challenge.
Benin is selling for less. Niger, landlocked country, is selling for less. Liberia is selling for less. Nigeria, obviously, is selling for less. Gabon, and there are about 30 countries that are selling lower than Ghana. Something is just not adding up. There were times that in the past that Ghana was about the 10th most cheapest, but right now we are 30th out of 52 countries. So immediately the doomsday levy has to go. Immediately I also make a recommendation for the price stabilization and recovery levy. Now what really happened was that the government consolidated all these levies. Unlike a time that you have different lines, they consolidated these levies. But that doesn't stop the government for recalling Parliament. All right, recalling Parliament to come and then make some interventions for us to seek some reduction in the levies in the price hold of the petroleum products. We really have to do this. See, there are a lot of countries, even in Africa and beyond, who are making some interventions. Levies, taxes are being reduced, 50% reduction, 25% reduction. Some are completely even removing some taxes.
That's Hassan Tampuli there. He's also proposing the removal of some taxes on fuel to ease the pressure on consumers.
Government has control over the exchange rates and then the taxes and levies and, of course, the margins. Now, when it gets to a point like this during our time, what we did normally was to look at a way to cushion the harsh effects of these price increases on the Ghanaian consumers. And typically, you would have heard that we would have by now neutralized the price stabilization and recovery levy. No OMC would have been charging it, and that would, of course, impacted one way or the other. And then also, at some point, when the price of, when the special petroleum tax was an ad valorem tax, the government decided that, look, when the prices increases, because it's an ad valorem tax, it multiplies. So let's remove the ad valorem tax and make it a specific tax.
That's Hassan Tampuli. He's a former Deputy Transport Minister. We've also been hearing from economist and strategic partner at Deloitte Ghana, Yao Latte, who says proactive measures are needed both in the short and long term to cushion the ordinary Ghanaian. He warns that without timely interventions, Ghanaian households and businesses could face severe strain.
Senegal, for instance, has banned all official transport travels by government officials. And Senegal and other governments across Africa are taking similar decisions to absorb the effect of increasing price of oil on the world market. In the short term, is to look at making a lot of gains or trying to get a lot more from the oil price stability that we have on the gold price. So, for instance, we should be able to increase production of gold in order to get a benefit. We have accumulated reserve about $14.5 billion in gold reserve. We should be able to mitigate the impact of the increasing oil price with the benefit that we are getting on the gold price. The other effect is that in the short term, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank should be monitoring development, the upside and downside risk. If there is some risk that's coming from the global economy, we should also monitor monetary policy rates.
Right.
Now we know it's just around 14%. What it means is that we should increase it when you have to, and we should decrease it when you have to.
Right.
Still on fuel prices, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union is pushing for an increase in fares despite government's appeal for restraint. The union is citing rising fuel prices, insurance premiums, as well as the cost of spare parts and lubricants. The union says it has already shown restraint, pointing to a 15% reduction in fare in May last year, and several occasions it absorbed rising operational costs without passing them on to passengers. According to the GPRTU, the expected relief from recent cedis stability has not materialized, while maintenance costs, including engine replacements, continue to rise. We'll hear from the union ahead of a crucial meeting with the government on the proposed fare review. But first, let's listen to President John Mahama, who is calling for an emergency cabinet meeting on the issue during his speech at the Kwewu Business Forum.
For diesel, I see 15 point something, 16. We're all praying that conflict will come to an end sooner than later. But I must assure you that this economy is more resilient than it was in the past. So I can confidently tell you that the economy is not going to crash because of the war. I've called for an emergency cabinet meeting to decide some measures we can take to cushion the petroleum price while we expect that the war comes to an end. There are some tweaking we can do in terms of levies and margins and other things in order to maintain stable price while we pray that the war comes to an end. I want to express my sincere gratitude to the transport unions, for being very patient with us. All of us didn't expect this was coming. They have held on with increasing fares, and I'm sure that they will continue to hold on with any fare increases while we all see how we can make things better.
We can now hear from the GPRT, whose Industrial Relations Officer, Abbas Umoro, maintains that a fare adjustment is unavoidable, warning that operators are under intense financial strain and cannot delay any further.
We are into serious business. We will be very lenient enough. Since last year, May, that we came up with the 15% reduction. Immediately, we again came up and started speaking about some parts which are still on the higher side, lubricants which prices are still on the higher side. And we're even thinking, for the sake of the dollars reduction, the lubricants and other components prices will even reduce. Lo and behold, here we are. Some have even gone up. And if care is not taken, we will start working, because as we speak now, most of our vehicles have been grounded, and the owners are looking for a huge sum of money either to replace the engines and many other components. Where we have gotten to, there's nothing we can do than to make sure we sit in Georgia and see how best we can raise the fare. God willing, tomorrow we will meet the Transport Ministry and see how best we could rectify the situation.
Away from rising fuel prices, the Chamber of Agribusiness is raising alarm over the alleged detention of several Ghana-bound onion trucks in Nigeria, stressing the need for swift government action to prevent the produce from going bad. The Chamber believes bilateral engagements between Ghana's Ministers for Foreign Affairs and Trade and their Nigerian counterparts could help de-escalate the situation and ensure the smooth transportation of the goods. Speaking on Joy News Today earlier, Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Anthony Morrison, said although engagements are already underway, direct ministerial intervention could fast-track the resolution.
My understanding was that national security at both ends of the country are engaging. It seems there is some misinformation somewhere on the side of both the traders and the transporters from both countries. And I think the Minister for Foreign Affairs and the Minister for Trade will have to step in now to make sure that some of these things are affected. The Minister for Foreign Affairs has to call its counterparts in Nigeria and to make sure that this doesn't happen. Then also under the Minister for Trade and Agribusiness and Industry have to now engage the right authorities for easy and safe passage in terms of what we call the borderless alliance.
Anthony Morrison also noted that recent developments in Burkina Faso and Nigeria regarding tomato and onion importation should prompt government to invest in local production to reduce reliance on imports and strengthen the domestic economy.
It's time we begin to take our destiny into our own hands. Unfortunately, this issue in Nigeria has cast another doubt on Ghana's ability to produce the essential products for ourselves. We've been discussing about tomatoes, onion came in, and ginger is also in the corner. Who knows what is going to come in? It is now very evident that as a country, we do not have a lot of food that we have food sufficiency in. The only thing we can talk about is plantain and yam. So we need to work as a country on leveraging on our current competitiveness in terms of the climate, in terms of the land availability, get government to invest in the right seed, the right support system for us to be able to achieve this.
Let's head to the Volta region now because work is steadily progressing on the 24.7 kilometer Todeme Germany Road in the South Dai district of that region, offering renewed hope to communities that have long grappled with poor road networks. The project being executed by Sannan GH Limited is expected to significantly improve connectivity, ease transportation challenges, and boost economic activity along the stretch. Residents and motorists say the ongoing works are already bringing relief and optimism, particularly for traders and farmers who depend heavily on the road to move goods to the market. The project is scheduled for completion in October next year. The following report has more.
The Todome Germany Road is considered a critical economic road as Germany serves as a major trading center in the Volta region. The road also serves as a major link between communities such as Peibome, Chate, Topalime, Tongo, among others, which serve as the district's food basket. But for a long time, the stretch has become increasingly unmotorable, impacting movement, people, and economic activities.
First, the road is no good at all. So if we take our goods like cassava, maize, pepper to Germany, the road is no good. So when the driver takes us to Germany, they take a lot of money with us. So when we reach Germany, the goods we sell, we don't get plenty money because of the road.
And the government's Big Push initiative, construction works began on the 24.7 kilometer road in October last year.
Early October that we started this project. So when we came, the road was terrible. But now if you look at the condition of the road, it's far better than what we met at the initial stage. So far, when we came, we did the clearing. We have done all the concrete works that we have in the projects. All the projects documented. So far, we have even exhausted it. We have videos that we are working on it. So now the concrete work that we are doing all is about when you come to the culverts and the drainage, the contained drains and the So all what we are seeing now is the video. So the project is for 24 months. So we intend to finish it within, even by the close of this year.
DCE for South Dai Courage, Kwame Kukuroko, says the Assembly is keenly monitoring to ensure timely and quality execution of the project, despite the commendable progress made so far.
As a district chief executive, we have a duty to monitor whatever projects come to our district. On weekly basis, we visit the construction site, we tour the road to see whatever is happening. If there's any challenge that we can help as a district, we do that. We also look at quality of work that is being done, myself and my engineers. But to be honest, throughout our visit, we've seen they are doing a good job. And the speed is also good, coupled with the quality of work that they are exhibiting.
From the Volta region, let's take you to the Ashanti region now and talk politics, because the chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esiedun-Ketia, has revealed that the party's ambition is to secure an equal share of votes with the new patriotic party in the Ashanti region in the 2028 elections and subsequent elections. Speaking during a tour of the region, Johnson Esiedun-Ketia noted that the NDC's improved performance in the last general elections demonstrates the impact of deliberate strategies, a renewed focus on the traditionally MPP-dominated stronghold. He made this remark during his tour of the Ashanti region. The following report has more.
The national chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esiedun-Ketia, has embarked on a strategic tour of the Ashanti region aimed at strengthening the party's grassroots presence and consolidating its recent electoral gains. According to him, the increased support the NDC received in the Ashanti region played a crucial role in its overall electoral success, underscoring the importance of sustained engagement with voters in the area.
Assembly about better NDC there, Ashanti Mamu a local area, no, and person me bubu side no free.
We wanted to dispel the perception that the Ashanti region is a no-go area for the NDC. And the outcome of the elections has proven that perception wrong.
Esiedun-Ketia emphasized that achieving these targets will require unity within the party, as well as continued grassroots mobilization and strategic outreach. The Ashanti region has long been considered a political stronghold of the NPP, but recent trends suggest increasing competition, with the NDC intensifying efforts to expand its influence and appeal among voters. For Joy News, Nana Boachidankwayadom, Kumasi.
Let's do business. Winston is here with the latest.
Thank you, Ken. Welcome to Business News on Newsline, brought to you by MTN, Kingdom Books and Stationery, Syntex Tanks, and Pepsodent Charcoal and Herbal. Now to our first business story. The Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, has underscored the difficult trade-offs involved in central bank decision-making, stressing the need to balance growth and inflation. The governor made the remarks at the Kwehu Business Forum 2026 in the Eastern region.
Speaking at the Governors' Roundtable during the Kwehu Business Forum 2026, Dr. Isiama pointed to Ghana's improved macroeconomic performance in 2025, highlighting exchange rate stability in the country. He described the cedi as stable and under control, explaining the central bank is largely about managing competing priorities. He stressed that the central bank's duty includes trade-offs and trying to strike the right balance to achieve stability. Dr. Isiama stated that while the economy shows strong signs of recovery, it came at a cost to the central bank. He revealed that last year was good but expensive for the central bank, as it took a lot of money to mop up excess liquidity and bring inflation down to 5.4% by December 2025.
That was a Newsdesk report. Still on economy, Face Solutions says the current account stability will mitigate any downside pressure on the Ghana cedi, despite soaring investor sentiments towards emerging market assets. There is more in this report. According to the UK-based firm, strong export receipts will continue to bolster Ghana's already robust forex reserves, which has risen to $14.4 billion, the equivalent of roughly 6 months of imports. Face Solutions said in the event that investor sentiment toward Ghana even weakens, Ghana's stable dollar bond yield can enable the Bank of Ghana to retain sufficient reserves to intervene in the interbank market and contain excessive market volatility. It added that the central bank and government are likely to tolerate a moderate depreciation bias to support export competitiveness, particularly as the cedi appears overvalued on a real effective exchange rate basis. That was a news desk report. Now to some oil story. The managing director of the Tema Oil Refinery, Edmond Combat, says there is growing confidence in the full recovery of the refinery. Speaking to fellows of the Africa Extractive Media Fellowship during the visit, he noted the facility was heavily indebted and inactive when the current management took over, prompting effort to restore staff morale and revive operations. Mr. Combat says ongoing rehabilitation will boost production, create jobs, and strengthen TOR as key national energy asset.
So if you have products here, sending it across the country and to the Sahelian market is very easy and efficient to do nationally. So President Mohammed's reset was to make sure that this asset is preserved for the present and future generations. And we are happy to be part of the story. We are happy that within a very short period of time, the confidence here and the work ethic here has changed. But the story continues because we are just scratching because there's still more work to be done.
That was the managing director of the Tema Oil Refinery, Edmond Combat, and that's all for business. My name is Winston Taki. Kenneth, over to you for the rest of it.
Winston, before you take leave of us, I want to ask you, have you ever bought something with a coin and it was rejected before?
Not absolutely, but sometimes they tend to not receive it. Sometimes they have a very interesting sentiment about they counting it because they perceive it's more difficult counting the coins than the paper.
Interesting. For me, I think just last week I bought something. I had coins. The woman said she wouldn't take it.
That was the 1 Ghana coin or the 2
No,
Ghana?
50 pesos.
50 pesos.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Very, very interesting. And despite repeated cautions from the Bank of Ghana that all lower denomination coins remain legal tender and must be accepted in transactions, some businesses and individuals continue to reject them. The practice is raising concerns about distorted pricing, weaker transactions, and the gradual increase in the cost of goods and services, as many citizens are left with coins they cannot spend. Michelle Latte has more.
The 10 pesos and 20 pesos coins are fast disappearing from everyday transactions. Persistent reports from markets and bus terminals show that some individuals are increasingly declining these smaller coins, often rounding up prices or imposing higher minimum charges. Some traders and transport operators say they accept the coins, but add that consumers sometimes reject them, making it difficult for the denominations to circulate.
We usually use the coins. Sometimes you need to change it for someone when he or she buys something. So we need more coins, no? We don't reject it. If you bring it, a bit.
I'm a trotro driver. Always when I give them the 20 pesos, 5 as a 1 cedi, they'll reject it. Why? Government have to say something about it so that they will not reject the coins. Because the money, we are still spending it.
These people who sell the pure water at the roadside, when you give it to them, they say they don't like it. When I give it to my passengers, I'm a trotro driver, so when I give it to my passengers sometimes, they just classify it as illegal currency, but it is not. Unless the Bank of Ghana come out to say that, oh, okay, this is illegal currency, then we just accept the fact that it is illegal. But once they have not come out to say that it is a legal currency and we have to spend it.
For some, the result is a growing stockpile of coins at home.
Me, if I buy anything outside, they don't take it. Especially 20 pesos and 10 pesos, they don't take it. As I'm talking, I have a lot of 20 pesos and 10 pesos at home. I don't know what to use it for.
Like I have a lot packed in my house at the moment because they don't accept it. So how am I going to use it? So I'll just pack it.
The situation has intensified calls for clearer direction from authorities. For Joy News, Michelle Latte.
The Gomoa Easter Carnival climaxed in a vibrant showcase of fashion and music. As top performers and public figures lit up the final night with electrifying displays from a 5-star-studded runway to marathon stage performances led by Shatawale. The event drew massive crowds while driving economic activity for local businesses. My colleague Collins Rimpon has more in this report.
Final day of the Gomoa Easter Carnival unfolded as a vibrant fusion of fashion and music. Member of Parliament for Gomoa Central, Kwame Asare, popularly known as A+, alongside Deputy CEO of Ghana Tourism Authority, Abeku Santana, and other notable figures, stepped onto the runway. They transformed into models for a moment, showcasing intricate designs captured by local designers in Gomoa, each piece telling a story of heritage and creativity.
Who is this? Who do we have? Babinzi, why they're busy? Why they're busy? Why they're busy? Honorable A+, why they're busy? Why they're busy?
As the night deepened, the music stage came alive with a parade of artists, but it was Shatawale who electrified the night, commanding the crowd with an explosive performance that stretched beyond 2 hours.
If you know me before, you see me today, you go see I be solo. How they understand why some people say this thing be Coco. Shy, why don't we call up black out? You know, for see nothing even cause you bobo. Me them a be and they look for my things so bad to me. Hey, Charlie, all them no go so sit for your corner and sip your cocoa. Fine boy when I pose, I see flashlights like a cool photo.
Wake up that high-octane display, Kofi Kinata, Kwao Kese, and many others took turns to keep the momentum alive, delivering crowd-favorite hits.
Mini de tu madina ye Timusumi di muwaji di debe ye Ana bibi wa wine to me ya Menteda muwida Mini de tu madina ye Timusumi di muwaji di debe Ana bibi wa wine to me ya Dada kukompo sa Nasa nimbedi nechila ubini munachaya Wadi biya de ya no Namnipa mwamweda wasaso mojono wa awu mamuchado.
Come on, cut it. Turn up your volume, bitchy nonsense. Wow, action. I have great when we game, I'm you can't tell me nothing.
Then, in an unexpected twist, the stage welcomed PSA Esther, a surprise appearance that shifted the atmosphere.
I am alive today. This God, you've been too good. What I have now is not by mine. And I am a what God, you've been so good. I am what I am made by grace. Wonderful. Blessed by God. I am alive today. This God, you've been what I have now is not by might, not by power.
Easter Carnival proved to be more than entertainment. It became a catalyst for local enterprise, drawing crowds, boosting small businesses, and reinforcing its growing role as a driver of socio-economic development in the area. Collins Frimpon's report, read to you.
Everybody sing
And that's it for Newsnight. But before we go, though, Francis has sent us a message. It says the rejection of the 10 and 20 pesos and now leading to 50 pesos coin and becoming a national concern. This is leading to price hike and inflation and creating economic hardship as the coin is piling up in homes and shops. The police with the Bank of Ghana and BNI should get out into town and deal with the sellers and those who are rejecting those coins that people use to buy items. And that's it for Newsnight. Thank you very much for being a part of the show this evening. My name is